Welcome to Seica Solutions here at Electronica. Delighted to be joined by Luca Corley, who's the sales director. Welcome, Luca.
Thanks, Trevor.
Okay. Now, we've got some fairly big news here because this is your standard pilot V8 flying probe system.
Yes.
But it has, we've made some development to it that can make it handle a fantastically large frequency, which is demonstrated on this oscilloscope up here. Do you want to maybe tell us a little bit about the news and how you achieved it?
Sure. Basically, this is a standard vertical double-side flying prober, but with a nice new and unique feature, the ability to extend the bandwidth from the megahertz to the gigahertz. The typical bandwidth for this type of systems is around 10 megahertz, but thanks to the new architecture where we have a digital oscilloscope installed, we have new cables, and we have special probes, we can achieve a maximum measurement of 1.5 gigahertz.
Wow, that is huge. So how did you achieve it?
Basically, we have standard cables and hardware for normal measurement, so the machine is able to measure standard components with 8 flying probes, but 4 of them are customized and specialized with extra cables and a special design to ground the signal we're measuring, so the high frequency signal gets ground at the same time with an additional ground probe.
Okay, so you can, and so the result is shown up here on this oscilloscope up here.
Yep.
But let's take a walk around the other side and take a closer look at these probes.
Sure.
So look, we're around at the other side of the machine now, where we can get a closer look at these probes.
Yep.
They're a very unique design. There's a dual probe. Can you explain to us a little bit about how they work?
Yes. In fact, the ability of this machine to measure high frequency is because we have a specific path from the digital oscilloscope, which is on top of the machine doing the measurement, through the unit under test. Mm-hmm. We have special cables that are adapting the impedance of the measurement path, and we have an active probe where we have 2 needles, one taking the measurement and the other one grounding the signal. The secret is to compensate the fact we have long cables, so we can do high frequency measurement even if we have meters of cables into the machine.
So these are what specially shielded cables that you're using.
Correct.
Okay. And when you're grounding it against the carrier plate here on the device.
Yes, the unit under test is mounted on a carrier, and the carrier is part of the measurement because it grounds the machine. The unit under test, and it gives a shield for the RF measurement to the DUT.
Right, okay. And taking a closer look at these probes, I mean, they're not just dumb probes, there's actually quite a bit of electronics and special devices inside them.
Yes, in fact, most of the design of this machine start from the fact that we have a dedicated probe to do the RF measurement. So, of course, I can't disclose everything that is inside this probe holder, but the good news is that this probe can be used also as a standard probe. So it's not only able to do RF and HF measurement, but also standard measurement. So this machine is a hybrid machine, high frequency, but also low frequency measurements.
What sort of applications are asking for this?
Basically, the idea is to deploy this machine at the R&D lab when our customers are doing what they call product characterization. So it's during the NPI phase, when R&D is checking how good is the prototype to become a product.
Right. So you can basically raise the levels to test its range.
The idea is products are getting smaller and smaller. People have difficult to manually probe in a lab. For example, the designer can use the same oscilloscope with the manual probing, but it's very tough to probe on a small device. And of course, the machine can be much more accurate and repeatable to locate the target and probe exactly where the R&D guy needs.
Well, it's certainly a really interesting development. You're always coming out with new things. Seica's had an amazing
We're an innovative
growth.
company.
Yeah,
we try always to raise the bar especially on the fly probe side.
Right.
We celebrate this year 30 years in business. Since 22 years we build flying probers.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, I was just about to mention that. 30 years is a long time to be in the industry.
30 years is a long time, especially in technology environment and in test.
Yeah, yeah. Well, congratulations, Luca. It looks like you've got
Thank you
another
very
winner.
much, Trevor.
And thanks for joining us today.
See you next time. Thanks.
Okay.